Okay, so those are the 14 ideas that form the core of the model. This particular document was prepared by Deloitte, like I said, and it's important that you take a look in detail. I'll send it to you, and then you can see any other ideas that I may not have mentioned. Examples are mine, but the concept, I drew it from that work. Let me pause here briefly before we talk about preparing your employees and risk management to see if there are any questions or comments. What I would do is, if you give me a second, I will delete all the comments so far to create space on our board. Then at least it's also easy for me to see new comments as they come in. Any one or two comments quickly, and then we will look at preparing your employees for digitization. Or shall we do this towards the end, perhaps? You agree? Shall we do this towards the end? All right, let's carry on. Preparing your employees, thank you. What are the steps to going digital? One, define the goals. What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to go digital? This must be clear, articulately, communicated to everybody. There must also be buy-in from among your employees and managers, genuine buy-in. And then put together a team that you will champion the transformation. One person might be from human resource. One person might be from finance. One person may be from IT. Another person may be a representative of the management or something like that. Another person may be from the engineering section, depending on how you are structured. So you get a multidisciplinary team, and you call it a transformation team. You state the goals and you do their scope of work, what you want them to achieve. They will look at this transformation or the transition from different angles because they are all coming from different professional backgrounds. And then develop a strategy. What's a strategy? It answers the question how. How exactly are you going to achieve these goals? Of course, we see the team here. They must come up with a strategy. Okay, we may pilot here, we may do this, and timings and all of that. And then build the right tech stack. What are we talking about? A stack as in what technologies, what models, what equipment are we going to need for us to achieve these goals? Don't be afraid to experiment, and then obviously measure the results. Be transparent with your employees so that you keep their buy-in. Okay. What follows next are slides that discuss each one of these 8. So I'll highlight a few points under each one of them. This is the first one. It's all about technology. Technology is great, but companies need to ensure that they educate and empower employees along the way. Do not lose anybody. As far as defining your goals is concerned, identify where you are now, identify your strengths, and identify what you are lacking. Compare that gap analysis, compare that with where you are, so that you can determine rather what needs, what skills, what technology needs to be bought, and what skills need to be achieved. Gather a team. I made a few remarks about that. Develop a strategy because it's key to the efficiently to transforming your organization efficiently. That's a better way to put it. Using those goals that you've established, break down on a step-by-step basis, milestone by milestone, and you celebrate every milestone, that strategy. Build the stack, in other words, the technology, the models, the equipment, and all of that. Don't be afraid to experiment, measure the results to be sure that you are achieving what you want to achieve. This is important. There are certain managers that feel that they must keep everything secret, keep everything under the chest. Only they must know, because that makes them feel important. That makes them feel needed. That makes them feel wanted. And fortunately, this doesn't work. All it does, it creates people who do not know, who do not sincerely support you, who cannot commit to you because they can see the lies, they can see your self-defense, they can see that you're not interested in their staff welfare. I have noticed many times, and I've been a manager up to direct level many times myself, that the more I am transparent with the team, the more they become committed to me, even as a person, as a leader. Because they can see when I am weak, I get strength from them. And I'm not going to hide that weakness because I want it covered so that they think I am the macho person, I'm the macho boss. There is no macho boss. You may happen to be the leader, but there are certain times, like life happens, when you yourself need to be motivated, you need to be encouraged, you need your hand to be lifted. So I've noticed from experience, and I'm sure some of you can attest to this, if you are transparent with your team, it becomes easier for them to be transparent with you, and trust is developed, between you. Thank you for those that have just raised their hand. Of course, I'm not talking about confidentiality and things like that, because those may be personal things, but there are certain things that you can comfortably share with your team, and the team gets to know you a bit better, and they get to understand you a bit better. Don't forget your company culture. Don't you ever forget your company culture, because culture is what will drive the change. Culture is what will drive performance. When you are creating and implementing your digital transformation plan, keep your employees in mind, design thinking, your customers. Your new technology and digital process should enhance your company culture and not replace it. So if you were accountable as one of your values, do not let this fall off when you go digital, because it means you will need even more accountability, because now people will stand on their own 2 feet. They must remain accountable even if there's no boss watching over them.